And we're back. Back for round 3. Welcome to season 3. But they told us to go to school, get a degree, get a great job. I mean, I don't know about y'all. I'm tired. Are you tired? Welcome to the NOIRPOISED podcast, where wisdom is power is more than just a motto. And we're back. Back for round 3. Welcome to season 3. We've been gone for the whole summer.
Yeah.
And we're back again up until June. So if you've been rocking with us from season 2 and season 1, welcome back. We're so excited to have conversations with you. And if you're new here, my name is Ruth and you are
Sam.
And we're married. But the conversations are not just about married couples, just so you know. So welcome. And we're excited to have you. We hope you enjoy the content, the information that we provide, the conversations that we have. As we always say, we do not claim to have answers to anything.
Nope.
The point of this podcast is to start the conversation, plant the seed so that you can go on to your village and your people and prolong those conversations and gain whatever knowledge and information you need from it. But here we're just starting the conversations, just, throwing bait, and you catch it, you do what you want with it.
Yeah, we're trying to figure it out as we go. Like, I think
Basically.
like most people. So we're just bringing you the conversations that we would typically have behind closed doors,
Right.
Just out in public now.
And that's really what this is. So welcome to the NOIRPOISED podcast, and we're excited to have you a part of our family, and we're excited to grow together. That's the point of this, is for us to not only grow with one another and individually, but to grow with you guys and with our community. So welcome, welcome. So today's episode, we're focusing on something that I think we all go through at some point in time. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what phase or period of life you're in. I think we all experience it to some extent. I mean, I don't know about y'all. I'm tired. Are you tired?
I think it's most people nowadays. I don't think it's just millennials. I think it's everyone. But
Yeah.
I've seen a lot about how millennials now are experiencing the same type of midlife crisis in their 30s that people, the older generation, would experience in their 40s and 50s.
Facts. But that's funny you said that, because I recently learned this year that the new, unfortunately, here in the US, the new life expectancy is actually 78.
Yeah.
So realistically, that is in your 30s,
Right.
your late 30s, so to say. But point is, we're hitting midlife in our late 30s. I mean, I don't claim that. I don't speak that over y'all lives. But those are the stats for the United States right now. Most people are passing on at 78 on average. So realistically, it makes sense that we would be going through certain things that previous generations went through at 50. We're going through them in our 30s,
Right.
because we're hitting that point in life where we're just like, we haven't figured it out. What do we do?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said this in a joking way, but I was actually pretty serious a few months ago when I said that I felt like I was going through a midlife crisis.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And I don't know I didn't look it up to see exactly what that meant.
Yeah.
But I just knew that I was feeling very anxious. And I'm not an anxious person who, worries about the future. You know that, like,
Yeah.
kinda just
very chill and mellow.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I found myself, panicking in a way. I found myself panicking and feeling like, yo, where did life go? I feel like yesterday I was 15 years old, about to graduate high school. And now, I'm married with kids and a whole home. And
Life just passed you by.
yeah, you have a whole bunch of goals, but I don't know about you, but I feel like my day-to-day tasks don't always align with my goals. Not that I'm being I'm procrastinating or anything, but there's just so much to do on a regular day that by the time the day ends, you're like, yo, what
did I do with the day
to actually
And it's not
advance
that you
my
didn't
goals?
do anything.
Yeah.
You did things. It's just, realistically, there's just so much to do.
Right.
There's so much to do. And I think that's for everyone across the board. Like, this is my opinion, but I think American culture, we've normalized the speed life, fast life kind of environment where we kind of accept that we're always supposed to be doing something.
Yeah.
We're always supposed to be working on something. And we've kind of forgotten that, like, no, we actually need a period of silence. I was telling you this not too long ago.
Yeah.
I seen I think it was an article or a video that was part of an article, but I seen something that triggered this thought. And it was basically talking about how we really don't have a moment of silence anymore. Like, we've adapted a culture that doesn't allow us to ever be in silence.
Yeah.
And that to me was a wake up call, because at least for me, I don't know about you guys, growing up Christian, like I've always found that I heard God the most when I silenced out the noise. So I don't know if you remember growing up, going to retreats and stuff.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, it's like you're so much more in tune with God. You're able to hear him a little bit more clearly. And I always realized it's because we went out into the wilderness where there wasn't any distractions. We were like one with nature. And I think we live in a time now where we don't have the ability to do that. Not that it's not possible, but it's difficult to get to that space on a regular basis because there's always something to do. There's always something happening. Like even if you try to be in like a chill type of atmosphere, there's people that may hit you up and need you. If you got kids, if you know, okay? Doesn't exist at all. So I feel like we're always in a space, even, and they said something to the extent of like, even when we're going for like a jog or a walk, we're listening to a podcast or we're listening to music. There's never a moment where we're literally in complete silence, where we allow our minds to think of what we want to think rather than think of what someone else is influencing. Like we're constantly being influenced by outside sources versus internally, and God is within. So naturally you got to tap in.
And as much as I love technology and all that, the good that it brings, I don't think anyone could deny that technology is advancing too fast for our bodies.
Facts.
Like, I don't think our brains were meant to look at a screen and see all these type of notifications and so pop-ups. And I think I saw that on average, people have 200 notifications a day.
You said 2,000.
No, that's earlier we were talking about this. No.
Oh yeah, I was like 2,000.
The average, it says the average US American touches their phone.
Oh, touches.
2,600 times. That includes grabbing your phone, swiping up, swiping down, any kind of movement, 2,600 times per day.
And that's the average, guys. Yeah, so that means there are people that actually do it more. Like, especially if it requires you to like be on your phone for work.
Right.
Oh my God.
But the 200 is the notification on average that people have just coming in, whether it's, email, text, phone calls, that's just per day. And I don't think our brains or our bodies were meant to live in that environment comfortably. Because it starts literally from the moment when you go to sleep. A lot of times, let's be real, we fall asleep next to our phones or our phones in our hands or listening to something. So I've been learning a lot about the brain, like I've been telling you. And even if you don't think your brain is thinking about something or paying attention to something, it's using some kind of processing power to absorb that information and actually learn something. This sucks for all the multitaskers out there. I know you're a multitasker, but there really isn't such a thing as multitasking. Your brain doesn't multitask; it task switches. So it sounds like it's the same, but I'm going to explain it. You might think to yourself, "I'm cooking right now. I'm listening to a podcast." And maybe you're in school, you're doing homework. You think you're multitasking. But what's realistically happening is your brain is saying, well, you have this on the stove. Spend 20% of your processing power doing this. Just thinking about the food so it doesn't burn.
Oh, that I believe.
Yeah, so you might think you're multitasking, but you're actually telling your brain to overwork itself.
I was thinking more so like it's giving, like I have a 100% capacity. And if I'm doing 5 different things, I may give like 20 to each, or I give like 10 to this and 30 to that.
And that causes it to overwork. And the studies show that when you task switch, you double your chances of making an error. And you actually reduce your productivity by 40%. So in a culture like we live in today where everyone is multitasking all the time. Like even your example of jogging, you're running.
You're like, let me listen to this podcast and learn something.
And let's be honest, even when you're listening to the podcast, you're thinking about.
No, I'm not telling y'all to not listen to this podcast now.
This is the only podcast you should be listening to.
You want if you listening to this.
This is the only podcast you should be listening to when you're running. But your brain is doing so much, and I don't think we realize why that. At the end of the day, we're just completely exhausted.
Drained.
And sometimes I say this to myself where I'm like, I didn't do anything that I felt like was exhausting, but I'm still exhausted. And it's because you're telling your brain to do so much more than it is capable of doing at the moment.
Yeah, burnout is real.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that. Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing already because of what I'm about to say, because I don't know anyone who hates being interrupted more than you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Just when you're, when you're focused and you're doing stuff. I mean, nobody likes being interrupted, but I learned that after each time you're interrupted doing something,
you got to restart.
It not just restart. It takes you 23 minutes and 15 seconds to get back to your original activity.
I feel it
with the same focus.
No, That I believe because that's how I feel. I feel like, okay, now I lost where I was. Now I lost my train of thought, especially if you're a mom. And I'm a mom around kids, 20. There's no breaks. It's not like I go to work and like there's a point where I'm like, I'm around adults. I'm around a toddler.
Yeah.
I'm around a toddler all day long. Have y'all been around a toddler? It's constant interruption. It's constant talking. It's constant questions. And if it's not that, it's screaming. If it's not screaming, it's dancing and singing. If it's not that, some toys hitting the wall.
So realistically, whatever you start doing, you never really
I don't get nothing done. Honestly, I literally told Sam, I was like, I don't know about season 3 of this podcast. I don't think it's going to happen because I don't have the capacity to even like figure it out because I feel that 100% because that's literally what I feel. I'm like, oh, now I lost where I was and I have to I feel like it's like a reboot.
Right.
You ever rebooted a computer and it's like all of a sudden it had all these updates that you didn't know about. That's how I feel when I'm interrupted.
Yeah. And I think the fact that all these studies and surveys show that people are hitting their midlife crisis a little earlier. Yeah.
Like at our age, we're hitting midlife crisis.
It's not, I want to pull this up too, but it's not just your regular midlife crisis. So back then, older generations, their crisis happens between the ages of 40 and 55 and is typically because of their age, relationship changes, they're reevaluating their lives and they feel less satisfied.
Which makes sense. They're like closer to retirement age. Right. Did I make the right choices? That's understandable.
But for millennials, the crisis happening earlier, it's financially and career driven, student loans, housing market, inflation, job security. So it's not just happening earlier, but it's happening.
It boils down to money. Because have y'all seen the economy?
Yeah.
It's terrible right now. I really feel for the people out there who's like looking for homes, because we thought we did it all right. No, I really think in our generation, nonetheless, I do think we got some complainers. But I do think for the most part, our generation, we thought we did everything we were told to do that would lead us to success. Yeah. And not saying success like being wealthy. Like we understand that you're not going to be wealthy with a 9-to-5. But they told us to go to school, get a degree, get a great job so you don't have to like, struggle. And even the fact that there's these new roles now that are like awesome where you can work remote, you can do hybrid positions and stuff like that. And it's still not enough to get by anymore. Like it's not enough. So I don't know how people are doing it.
I think it was a Forbes article or Fortune that said pretty soon working one job is going to be a luxury.
Yeah, I remember you said that.
So it's going to be I mean, I think it's common now. I heard
it someone is common. Everybody has two
someone
jobs.
that we knew that's not originally from New York said everybody I know that's in New York works two jobs, right?
Yeah. He was like, I knew you because y'all always working 2 jobs. I had someone, was it the same person?
Yeah, probably talking about the same person. But I think all that is what triggers the fatigue. And it's not like you go through your day to day and you have a break coming up. It's every single day, even on the weekends, you're experiencing some kind of burnout and fatigue. And I think the pressure of millennials to be socially active as well, not just on social media, but just, in general,
staying in touch with people.
Right. I think that adds to the burnout. And
because how about you just saying that, I'm just like, because I feel like lately we've been having guests all the time. Yeah. And nonetheless, I'm grateful. I'm so thankful that people are like coming out and visiting and stuff now. But there's a part of me that's like, yo, I'm tired. Yeah. I have to engage with people regularly, like 3 times out of the week we have guests and it's a lot. So I can't even imagine like the people who are actively like really going to bars and going to events. Like I'm just sitting in my house and people are coming and it's a lot. So I can't even imagine. Did I cut you off?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, aside from the career aspect of it, I also think with our generation, with like millennials and Gen X people, we're tapping more into like mentality and emotional stuff while we're raising kids. So you have to take into consideration that part of it that can make you burn out. Like, for example, we have a toddler. And so the way I was brought up, obviously, I don't want to do the same things with her. I want to be more like aware of how it's going to impact her emotionally and mentally. What comes natural to us, because that's all we know and what we've grown up seeing, it takes a lot of mental work and a lot of emotional work to be able to tell yourself, don't operate in the way that's normal to you. Yeah. Operate completely different. So now we're thinking about our actions and how we react to things versus like previous generations, they reacted and there was no sorry. There was just like, this is the reaction, you deserve this because this is what you did, this is how I reacted. Now it's like, like we're constantly thinking, did I move the right way with this? Should I take accountability here? Or you know what I mean?
Right.
That alone can cause burnout if you're doing that daily.
I had an interaction. I was telling you about this interaction I had with our toddler. Mm-hmm. And immediately afterwards, I'm talking to her regularly. I'm like, do you understand why I said what I said?
No, she don't.
And all that. But it goes back to your point. We're not just trying to parent like our parents used to parent, where you did something wrong, I yelled at you, or I beat you. Now we're done for the night. Like we're trying to.
I love you because you ate tonight. You had dinner. So wake up tomorrow morning, you better act right.
We're doing more of the mental work to make sure that
analyzation, I think.
The analyzation. And I heard a comedian say this recently where he said, I don't have any kids, but if I could raise my kids the way my parents raised me, I'd have a lot of kids.
Heck yeah.
Like, he's like, I was never allowed in the house. And a lot of people say this now, where people say, back in the day, did they really just let you out in the street just roaming?
The crazy part is they didn't even know you was in the street. They told you to go play in the yard. You outside. They don't know you went to your neighbor house.
They had one rule: just make it down before the sun goes down. Yeah. But nowadays, it's this. I think
growing up Haitian is slightly different. Yeah, but
I think the bottom line is it's information overload.
Yes.
And when I was feeling what I was feeling a couple of months ago, I had to humble myself and tell myself, realistically, I'm not gonna get all my goals done. So I need to start tackling one at a time.
That's actually the best way to do it. I now operate in that way because obviously there's so many ideas that I have and things I want to do, but I'm like, Ruth, focus on the podcast. You started that. Don't try to focus on something, try to do multiple things. Focus on this, and then the other things will come to pass as you perfect and learn and grow through. But even in entrepreneurship, I actually heard someone say this, where like everyone thinks that they should have like multiple side hustles and multiple streams of income. Yes, there is an aspect of it where multiple streams of income will get you there. I forgot who said this. It was one of those billionaires. I don't remember. But he said something to the extent of like, that's the mistake that a lot of people make. What you should be doing is perfecting one craft and making sure that you get the income from that. Then you move on to the next source of income.
Right.
But unfortunately, our poverty mentality, I'm gonna say it, I'm sorry, but our poverty mentality, sometimes we think like we got to be like hustling. If we're working hard, that just means like we're doing the right thing. Sometimes working hard does not mean you are working smart. Okay, just because you got multiple side hustles, just because you're doing 1,000 things does not mean it's doing anything. Like, it's better to just perfect one craft and then move forward. So I guess it's the same thing with us,
we're definitely a hustle generation. That's what they told us, always keep on moving, to the point where I used to feel guilty if I'm not doing enough, no matter what I'm doing. Like, I felt guilty if I'm not doing enough and I'm not seeing results fast enough, and that obviously leads to burnout. And I think that's one of the reasons why the life expectancy is shorter. I think overall health wise, we are
child, it's everything.
We're not doing that great as well, just the overall health of the country. But at the same time, I think the mental health is just not there. And as much as we might want to blame, outside sources, our parents, the way that we were raised, or maybe the teachers, or whatever the case is.
Accountability, it's us.
I think we're doing a lot to enable that. And we should definitely try to find time where we can be off. And we don't have to actually
I think there should be like at least like 20 minutes out the day where you're just doing nothing.
Right.
Like, just like doing nothing, hearing nothing. Like, and when I say doing nothing, because to us doing nothing means you're playing music, you just chilling a little jazz or something. No, doing literally nothing, where your brain gets the time to kind of like think.
Right.
This
is a while back where, for one reason or another, we weren't around technology.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And we came out of that like after a few hours.
Yeah, we were like,
wow,
that was amazing.
That was great. And something like that, I think it's doing nothing. Like, if you go outside for a walk, leave your phone. I know your brain's gonna tell you, what if there's an emergency? But just take a short walk around the block and leave your phone. Whenever I go outside now to play with our toddler, I try to make it a habit to leave my phone, just so I'm not distracted. Because you don't realize when you pull out your phone.
Oh, I do that
it's
now.
It's kind of like automatic. Like, you don't even know why you need it.
It's true. Yeah, you check the time and then you realize you got a notification. Now you're answering text. That leads to emails. You're answering emails. Then you realize you had to do this. I had to pay this bill. I had to call this person. And then boom, you're on the phone for like 30 minutes to an hour, and you don't even know where it passed. I do that now. And Sorry for the people who text and call me and I answer like hours later. This is why. I intentionally leave my phone in a different room now. Unless I know there's something that I need to do on it, I'll leave it for a couple hours and I try to be more present with our kid. Just so I don't get into the habit. Because I also have to consciously remember that if I keep doing it, she's going to think it's normal. Like, remember there's times where like my phone is in a different room. She'll go get my phone and bring it to me.
Yeah. Be like,
and that tells me that tells she do that this morning? And I heard you say like, yeah, mommy doesn't need it. And she came right into the bathroom and gave me my phone. Usually I'll have my phone in the bathroom, but recently I started telling myself to be able to get in and get out a little bit more faster, I'm not going to take my phone. So homegirl decided, mommy must need her phone. So every time I'm in the bathroom now and she's with you, she'll bring my phone to me with the mindset that like, I must need this. Like she doesn't get it. So I'm like, oh, this is a red flag. Like that means I hold my phone too much. And I don't think I hold it as much as like the average person, but apparently I hold it enough for her to notice. So yes, I keep my phone far away now.
You know how she takes whatever that looks like a phone and says it's a phone?
Yes.
One time she had to use the bathroom and she came and said, oh, let me grab my phone just in case I need it.
She did that with me too.
Like, that's a wake-up call.
It is.
Yeah, because I do that too. Like, take my phone just in case I need it. So when I heard her say that, I'm like, okay, I'm clearly setting a bad example.
I mean, it's not even that it's a bad example. It's just, when else are you going to do things? I mean, I can't speak for you, but like for me, I'm like, when else am I going to check these notifications? People probably think I ignore them. And I'm just like, no, I genuinely leave my phone somewhere and I'm like, I'm just going to check it all at the same time at the end of the night. So I usually will like put the kids down and when they're sleeping, that's when I'm checking the messages or something.
Yeah.
But to check it, you end up getting caught up in the phone and you don't get things done.
Right.
And then your kid notices it. All I keep hearing is, look at me, mom, look at me. Mom, look at me, look at me. Anywho, I realized we did not give the definition of burnout. I'm sure you guys know it's basically exhaustion, but we're going to go through some of the wake-up calls, basically, to know if maybe you're experiencing it. And then there's also a part of me, I'm going to be honest. Sorry, I got off track, but there's also a part of me, because I'm Haitian, I'm like, nah, maybe we just weak out here in the United States. I don't know. Because, I don't know. But there's a part of me that feels like, shouldn't we always be doing something? Like, I feel guilty if I'm not doing something.
Yeah, I think it's a technology aspect that gets us to the point of burnout. Because think about it. If technology wasn't a thing, you didn't have smartphones or whatever, you'd be able to do everything you need to do. No. It's the tech aspect, like I was saying earlier in the episode, where we don't consider that our brain is always working on something. So if we're listening to a podcast, it's using energy to process that. If we're receiving notifications, if we hear a ding, we're using processing power to do that. If you were to eliminate all that, I'm not saying we would never be burnt out, but there would be a significant difference. And that's something that the older generation didn't have to deal with.
I can see that, but I feel like you could still be burnt out with or without technology.
Yeah, you can, for sure. But I think technology is what is pushing everyone over the edge.
Overload, like you said, information overload. So signs of a burnout. Well, first off, burnout is basically exhaustion, physically, mentally, emotionally. Just you're exhausted, which means you're not as happy as you usually are. You're usually into certain activities and you're not into those activities anymore. That's usually a sign that like maybe you're burnt out, right? Yeah. So signs, physical symptoms are headaches, stomach aches, fatigue, frequent illness, and changes in appetite and sleep. Emotional symptoms are helplessness, sense of failure or self-doubt, decreased satisfaction, feeling detached or alone in the world, loss of motivation. Behavioral signs are procrastination, outbursts, using substances to cope, withdrawal or isolation, reduced performance in everyday tasks. So I'm sure there's more, but these are common ones. And when I was looking at it, I was like, this kind of looks like depression a little bit too. And there was an article I saw that kind of like discussed the difference between depression and burnt out, because within depression, you may feel burnt out, right? But the depression is a prolonged period. So it's all of these things for
that makes sense.
Endless. There's no reason for it. Versus you're burnt out, it could be your job. You're burnt out, it could be lack of support with raising your kids. You're burnt out, it could be because you're operating and doing too many things with businesses. But there's a reason that's causing those feelings, versus depression is like I guess I think they say it's a hormonal imbalance or something. And in Christianity, it's that on esprit.
Why do you have to say it like that?
I'm sorry. The people who's not Haitian are not going to get that. But point is, these are the signs. So if you happen to notice that, you check off a lot of these boxes, which I'm sure a lot of you will, because I think it's so common now. Like I was looking through, I was just like, oh yeah, okay, So I think we're all there, because there's always so much to do, and we have so much goals. We want to do so much and be, more, and it requires a lot of sacrifice and a lot of things that's going to lead you to exhaustion. I think it's, at least now I'm starting to tell myself, it's understanding when it's time to take a break.
Right.
Like a break is okay. It's okay to be like,
not just okay, but it's needed.
Yes, it's needed. A break is needed. Growing up, like in our household, like if you woke up in the morning, you weren't doing anything. I don't know if y'all experienced this growing up. Maybe it's a Caribbean thing or a Haitian thing. I don't know. But if you were just chilling, like you were sitting down doing nothing, your parents would be like, like they'll look for something that you could be doing versus just sitting down doing nothing. Like if you're having too much fun, they assume it's because, you need some work to do.
Right.
And I think subconsciously that did something, because now I, as an adult, like if I'm literally, I haven't done that in a long time, but before kids, if I happen to wake up on a Saturday at like 10 o'clock, you remember, I'd be like, we woke up on a Saturday at 10 o'clock, the day's over.
Yeah.
And you'd look at me like, the day just started. So I think that's a thing, like for some people, depending on how you were raised, naturally in your mind, you think you're not doing enough. Sis, you're doing just fine. Okay. We are all doing enough. Yeah. And we all have different like capabilities. So just because the next sister or the next brother's doing one thing doesn't mean you have to be able to do those things too. We all operate at different levels in different seasons of our lives. So the lesson for me is, I don't have to be doing as much as the next person. I could be doing less, and I could be doing more. It really depends on how it works for my situation,
I saw this post that said maybe the reason why you're tired or you feel like you haven't accomplished anything is because you keep on raising the bar. It reminded me that in this hustle generation that we are in, we're always pushing ourselves and we're not patting ourselves on the back enough. And I read that even as far as the brain goes, there's a big reward system when you applaud yourself. So they say when you...
A dopamine hit.
Right. They say when you fail, you don't think about it, because the more you think about it, the more you tell your brain to remember this and to log this. But when you do something good, you have to literally, no exaggeration, do something like clap for yourself or sing or do something memorable. So acknowledge it, so your brain could put kind of like an indentation and remember this feeling, and you're more likely to repeat it.
I love that. Congrats. It's good to celebrate ourselves.
Right.
I think some of us don't do that.
Celebrate yourself, and also realize that you're winning whether you realize it or not. Sometimes we might tell ourselves, okay, our goal is to take our kids to the park. That's our goal. But then along the way, we add more goals, like we got to make a sandwich, we got to stop by and get ice cream, we got to do this, we got to do that. So we could get to the park, but if 2 out of 3 of the other things that we wanted don't happen, we think of it as a failure. Like we have to learn to stop raising the bar so much for ourselves and just learn to tackle one thing at a time. And as far as
that's
for
hard.
Me, it is hard. But what I told myself to get myself out of that, into that mentality, is, God forbid, there's a major life event. You ever gone through something where
everything stops,
and that problem that you were stressing about is absolutely nothing. So I tell myself all the time, like, God forbid I have some kind of...
You don't even need to go further.
Right. God forbid there's something that happened.
Something.
Yeah, something happened. Am I really going to care about X, Y, Z? No.
That's a good point.
Then
it's not that important.
Right. Then it's not that important. So then I just go through a process of what goal will be the most meaningful to me right now and why. Is it, if it's reading a book, if it's getting up and working out, like, let me just focus on that for now. And then once I have that down packed, like you were saying earlier, then you can tackle the next step instead of trying to do everything all at once.
I think that's fair. That's good advice. There's a few quotes that come to mind. There was one that I actually used to have on my screensaver at work at one of my jobs one time. And it's basically, and this is for the people who are experiencing exhaustion and burnout with their careers. God forbid you pass away, they will have that job rec up and posted within the week. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, I think it's recognizing what's important and putting priority on what's important, and realizing some of the things, you're just a number at a job for the most part. And like you said, a lot of the goals, they're not that important if a major life event occurs. Right. So I think prioritizing is really important and learning how to balance those priorities. Right. All right. And we're out. This was the first episode of season 3. We hope you enjoyed. We hope you come back to the second one. If you're not familiar with our platform, we do have an Instagram page, NOIRPOISED Podcast, that you can follow us and see when we post things. And we don't post that much because we're
fatigued.
We're exhausted. We don't have a team just yet. So, we just here trying to do it all on our own. And that takes a lot of time. Therefore, we do the best that we can because we're prioritizing. Mm-hmm. So anyways, we'll catch you guys on the next one.
See you guys.
See ya. Thank you for spending your time with us. We hope you gained some knowledge today that'll promote poise in your life. We have new episodes uploaded every Thursday right here, same place, same time. Until next time, you can follow us on Instagram at NOIRPOISED Podcast to stay connected. That's NOIRPOISED Podcast. We'd love to hear your feedback.
And remember, your wisdom is power.